Kiki's got a notebook sharp as a blade, sifting through the chaos where the stories fade, flipping pages fast like a hurricane, clues in the dark dancing in her brain. She's Kiki 2025 true crime, breaking it down one thread at a time. Cases gone cold but she's heating the line, coming in hot with the fresh new eyes. Photos on the wall connect like dots, maps and strings tie the tangled plots. Her mind's a puzzle where the truth unlocks. Every step forward, another TikTok. She sees what they miss, the cracks in disguise. She's got the angle, she's got the prize. She's Kiki 2025 true crime, breaking it down one thread at a time. Cases gone cold but she's heating the line, coming in hot with the fresh new eyes. Zoom in the frame, enhance the grain, pieces come together in a mental terrain. Voices in the silence, they call her name. Kiki's on the case, rewriting the game. Yeah. Kiki's got a notebook sharp as a blade, sifting through the chaos where the stories fade, flipping pages fast like a hurricane, clues in the dark dancing in her brain. She's Kiki 2025 true crime, breaking it down one thread at a time. Cases gone cold but she's heating the line, coming in hot with the fresh new eyes. Photos on the wall connect like dots, maps and strings tie the tangled plots. Her mind's a
breaking down cases, wonder what the case is. 2025, got the game in the mazes. Thinking of a time when we all got blazed and we didn't even think about the game being racist. True crime, every day I don't face it, but Kiki 25, baby in the basement. Case after case, she just gotta keep chasing. Taking over the world, she gon' be the one they name it. Kiki 25, the true crime, she gon' solve the world, she gon' change the world, and then she'll be yours. Kiki 25, the true crime, she gon' solve the world, she gon' change the world, and then she'll be yours. Every time she think about it, she be going crazy. Everything she ever dreamed about was always hazy. Taking time to go around the world, it never fazed me. Taking
guys, my sound doesn't want to work for whatever reason. My gosh, it's been a week. How are you guys doing? I haven't seen you in 4 days and I've missed you guys. I've so missed you guys. And right. Anyways, how's it going, guys? Thank you for already coming in and almost got me to my goal already. I tell you what, y'all are amazing. Amazing. Hello, Teresa. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for being a member, baby. Thank you for giving a super chat. Thank you, Kathy, for coming in and modding. Thank you, Rhonda, for giving a super chat and modding. Thank you, honey. Thank you, Kathy Gordon. Yeah, okay. I'm all out of sorts, guys. Hello, Grace Paris. Let's see. Jenny Machete. I love your name. Hello, honey bun. Thank you for coming in. Let's see. Daisy Duke, thank you for modding and thank you for being here, babe. Lisa King, thank you for coming in. Daisy, thank you for your super chat. Rhonda, thank you for your super chat. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's go on down the line. I've been missing my peeps. Missing my peeps. Hey, YouTuber. Thank you for being a mod. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member, Tim. Thank you for coming in, honey. Let's go on down. Y'all been chatting a lot and saying hellos. Okay, there we go. Yes, if you would hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for all being here. The ones modding, thank you so much. That super chats and such helped me to get a new computer that Grace Paris has been driving me crazy to get, and finally I'm caving in, and I'm probably about halfway there to get a new computer. So because the one I have when I first started YouTube was not, I didn't know what to actually get. You know, it was like, I think $198 from Walmart. So, you know, so be it. At least it done its job for a while, right? I've had a lot on my mind the past few days, guys. Let's go ahead. Let's do the Beaver song first for everyone coming in the super chats. This is my appreciation song for my members and my super chats, if I can ever find it. Got a lot of stuff on this computer. That's probably what lags.
Thank you for becoming a member of my channel. Kiki 2025, true crime on this channel. You will see everything true crime, from podcast to cases to podcast. True crime. True crime. True crime. True crime. True crime.
All right, guys. All right. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate anything. And if you can't, you can't. You know, I understand times are hard. So we all understand here. We've had a lot going on. Before I get started, guys, well, for one, I needed to clean my garage out desperately and my attic. Okay, so that's why for 2 days, well, 3 days, we were doing that. So that's why I was missing. I kept thinking, I gotta go live. But it just didn't work out. So anyways, we got that done. But also, I need prayer for, let's see, 2 different people. We have a church member and her sister was pregnant, only 20 weeks pregnant. The baby was just 7 to 9 ounces. She started going into labor. They tried to stop it, okay? And couldn't. Come to find out, it was because the hospital had actually sent her home with an infection, and it caused her to give birth. So the baby lived for about 35 minutes and passed on. Okay, so please remember those people in prayer. It's been rough. You know, we bear a lot of people's burdens, me and my husband, plus our own. Then there's someone that's very close to my mom. It's a young man, and he is in the hospital. He has fought cancer. They tried to reconstruct his face. Okay, and he's got an infection now, and they're worried it's gone to the heart. And yeah, so many sad things just need prayer, and anybody in the chat, if you want to drop a prayer request, I'll pray for you guys too. Okay, that's first off. That's the most important in these missing kids, right? Let me go ahead and do, yeah, I don't trust them either. Not after actually what happened to my dad. I'll never trust another one ever again. And I've actually worked in medical, and it's went very far downhill. The care for patients has went downhill, period. All right, this is our Fair Use Act disclaimer. At times, this channel may make use of copyrighted material in accordance with the Fair Use Act. This is allowances made for fair use of copyrighted material for purposes of commentary, criticism, news reporting, research, education, teaching, and or scholarship. Okay, and anyone that we discuss, I'm going to put this one up too. If I can find it, let's find the other one. I need to organize these things. I need a secretary. Please do not contact anyone or their jobs or anything mentioned today in this live. This channel is speculations, discussions, opinions only, not facts. Unless we hear it straight from the people's mouths, and sometimes it's still not facts. All right, let's get to it. Guys, let me tell you, I've been following the Nancy Guthrie case, and it seems like it's getting worse and worse. Hey, Cool Cougar, just seems like it's getting worse and worse, right? We started out seeing that it was a possible abduction, right? Still could be. We don't know. We don't think it is family related. I would hope not. Right? Hang on just a second, guys. Hang on. All right, guys. Anyways, this case with Nancy Guthrie has concerned me from the start. Okay, and this is alleged in my opinion, and I'm not blaming anyone with anything, but folks, I'm telling you, it was very strange to me, and you can tell me your guys' opinion. But it's very strange to me how at the beginning the sheriff was in tears. The next day that they done the, other interview with him, then he was kind of just not in tears. It was very strange to me. Very strange. But, we're not blaming no one with anything. But it looks like to me, just like in Sebastian's case, that things could have been done differently, a whole lot differently, right? Than what they were actually done. Kathy, I agree. I agree so much. There's something that we're not hearing as public people, right? There's something just not right with this. Okay, I'm going to pull up a picture that I found. And y'all have probably seen all this. But this picture right here is of a guy that was at her house, I guess, scoping it out, or I don't know what he was doing actually. Like a week prior to her going missing. Have y'all seen that picture? That looks like the masked guy to me, guys, in my opinion. So, have they talked to this man? I've got a lot of questions. You haven't seen that picture? You have. Have they talked to this man? Right? Okay, I'm going to do another comparison. Now, remember the guy that called in the alleged fake ransom, got arrested, got released, which is weird to me. I did a comparison of him and the mask perpetrator. Kind of familiar. I mean, it kind of looks, like him. I'm telling you, when I saw this, when I first came on and I saw that picture, that's like, wow, right? That's me, Lisa. Yeah, we may not never know the real truth. Daisy says he was released. Oh, you're fine, Teresa. You're fine. But this is an alleged man that was there a week prior to her going missing. Okay? That's what this is. I may have to move around a lot, guys. We have company. I'm sorry if you hear me moving around room to room. I've got to get me more room in this place too, right? And we're going to add on. We've already talked about that. So that way I can have a YouTube office. Yeah, could be the eyes and the brows. That's what I thought, Jenny. Okay, we're going to put some music on because I am going to cover Sebastian. That's one thing, guys. One thing about this case, and I hope this lady is found. I truly do. I couldn't imagine, my mom going missing, me that, not knowing if she's safe or taking her meds or whatever. I would be crazy, right? We also can't forget about these kids, okay? When you go through the news feed, all you're seeing is other things. But let's get these kids out in the algorithm, right? Let's get the kids' faces out there. Let's cover these kids just as much, right? And please don't think I'm being mean. Please don't. But these babies, these kids, they're babies. I don't care. Like, if you're 18 below, I'll call you a baby. All right. Let's get... I know, Grace. Yeah. Grace would drive my husband crazy if it was him, kidnapping her. No, that ain't gonna work. It wouldn't get along 5 minutes. Anyways, yeah. SSF put up 9 to 10 pictures, and in one of the pictures it looks like maybe a tattoo on his arm. Wow. Well, we need to not only cover Nancy, but we need to keep the kids in the algorithm and share it out also, right? All the missing kids, all the missing people are important, whether we have money or we don't, right? But Sebastian, man, and I've seen some of the things going on with all that. I've had my tinfoil hat on trying to figure it out. Lisa said, I'm telling you, this is insane. Okay, let's see here. Nancy Grace. I want to pull up Nancy Grace. We're going to pause this because if I don't pause it, hang on just a second, guys. It will go ballistic. Hang on, guys.
Now with more on all the host of crime stories on Fox 1, Nancy Grace.
Guys,
all right.
This is Nancy Grace from Fox. And Nancy Grace seems to be a very smart lady, right? Very smart, in my opinion. Let's get this going correctly. Like I said, my computer is moving like a turtle. Okay, here we go. This was, I think, yesterday, Fox News. All credit goes to Fox News for this segment that she's explaining why the FBI being blocked is from key evidence. What's up with that? And the sheriff has came out evidently and said that's not true. So we're going to play this and then play what he says.
Kind of skirting around the issue. We have talked about it privately. I have told my FBI sources were very clear to me that local authorities, and I'm not talking about rank and file, I want to be very clear. There has been a lab in Florida instead of the FBI headquarters in Quantico. Really?
There are cases where DNA is sent to a particular lab, a specialty lab, a lab that could have an expertise in diluted, destroyed, old, degenerated DNA. But even if that's why he's hanging his hat on an excuse to send it to a private lab in Florida, they don't have anything that the FBI doesn't have. So that's not going to wash. And I want to tell you something, Sean. I've tried many, many DNA cases. I've tried many cases without DNA. You can use up DNA if you have a small amount, which comes from touch DNA. It's not like blood or sperm, where you may have a lot of DNA and a very small amount of fluid, but you have a lot of DNA. Touch DNA, no.
So you guys hear Nancy on that? She's saying that, you know, the touch DNA that's inside a glove, you're not going to have as much DNA as if, you know, the DNA like that was found at the front door of the house, right? So once it all gets used up, say the lab in Florida, right? Rhonda says the lab in Florida has been good. They saw 6 in a cold case. Wow, that's great. But I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. I think that FBI, U.S. Marshals, and all that, because they're highly, highly qualified, right? I think that they should have jurisdiction over any sheriff's department, over any county, any city. I think they should be able to, you know, like overrule things with these missing people cases, right? Tell me, guys, what you think about that. Hit a number 1 if you think that they, you know, they should change the rules around and that they should be able to overrule the sheriff. Number 2, if you think, you know, and it will probably be 50-50 on this, but with the missing cases, with the people, you know, missing. 1, Rhonda says, Lord help us if they was to kidnap Nancy Grace. I know, right? She'd give them a fit. That's like Grace Paris. I don't think they'd make it. All right. Hey, Rusty Pipes, let's finish playing this because this was interesting in what Nancy said.
If there is it hurts me to think of this. If there is a small amount of DNA inside one of those gloves and it is sent to a lab for testing, that DNA could be used up in the testing. It's very hard to regenerate DNA for testing purposes. So what I'm saying is, if that lab in Florida uses up that touch DNA, it's over. Does he not realize what he is risking? He needs to go back to his basketball game and let the feds in Quantico. But it's done. It is done. And I can't tell you the difference DNA makes in a case. That's the number 1 thing right now. Second is the vehicle. Trucks. The feds are looking for trucks. A gray truck. Video, and have they seen a truck? Have they seen a gray truck? And do they own a truck? And do they know somebody that does own a truck? Why did they focus on a truck? Because apparently a truck has been picked up on video surveillance around questionable times. Now, if you look at times at which they are searching, they're looking at a date back in January, 3 weeks before the incident, and they're looking at the time a day before the incident, wanting a gray truck, surveilling the home in daytime conditions and nighttime conditions. Why do we need the vehicle? They clean that vehicle. They're not going to get rid of all the blood. A vehicle makes all the difference. Do I have to say Brian Kohberger? We know the DNA helped the case, cracked the case, but it all started with an ID of an Elantra, and white Elantra, and that went over to WSU, Washington State University in Pullman, their local deputy dog at the campus police. He ran a white Elantra, and Kohberger's name came up at the get-go. Then you've got Molly Tibbetts, a young woman, jogging, college student. You know how they apprehended that perp? Because of a black Chevy Malibu caught on video. That's how important this gray truck is tonight. That and the DNA are what we need to focus on. We've got a physical description. It's loose. A guy, 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", dark hair, did have a mustache, did have facial hair, probably not anymore. But it's the DNA that will carry the day. And another thing, why I think they were looking at Carlos Palazuelos, I believe what you and I talked about on night 1, Sean, CAST, Cellular Analysis Survey Team, I think they picked up Palazuelos' cell phone in and out of that neighborhood, identified him, and then swooped in and got him. So they are working the phone angle. I know that for a fact.
Well, I know without the FBI there, they never would have gotten that videotape. And the Pima County Sheriff even said early on in a press conference that they would not have no access to any videotapes. He did say that. I hate this turf war thing. The glove seems to be the main thing. Do you remember early on, there was one neighbor that reported that in the days leading up to this abduction, that there was a white truck, white, gray, I don't know, different, but maybe close enough, that had been on the street, which seemed out of place. Maybe we go back to that point and maybe we find that white truck.
Well, interesting, something that you brought up about that white vehicle. And that was, it was parked in the neighborhood. Nobody could identify it as being theirs. Didn't know whose it was. And if it was a repair person, it had no logo on the side, on the back, nothing. So what was it and why was it there? And again, there is no coincidence in criminal law. And if that white or gray vehicle was parked on the street and people had noticed it days in advance before Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped, and now they're looking for a gray vehicle, I think that's very probative, Sean.
Yeah. All right. So the glove, hopefully we get the DNA. Hopefully they might get a match, and hopefully the FBI, local law enforcement can put aside their differences and their egos and work together for the good of finding Nancy Guthrie. Nancy Grace, thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
Okay, guys, and that was really interesting because they're talking about a gray truck, talking about a white truck, talking about a white van. YouTuber says no make or model given allegedly. And Daisy, yes, me too. So my question is, why are they so concentrated right on Annie and Tomato's house? Why do they keep going back there? None of it makes sense, Kathy. I agree. I agree. Okay, let's go to this next clip. Let's see, and then we're going to questions because I've got some things to say about Sebastian's case. Okay, this is where they released a new description of the suspect. Let's see here. This is CBS News LA. Let me get it pulled up for you guys. Banner. CBS News Los Angeles. Okay. I hate doing these news things because they just turn and turn. Now listen to this. You've probably heard this already also. But let's see if we can get going.
And now to the search for Nancy Guthrie, missing now for nearly 2 weeks.
We have new details released to the public tonight as law enforcement. Hunter Sowers has been closely tracking the story. She joins us now with the latest. Hunter?
Well, Pat and Rutabaga, the FBI tonight putting out a narrowed down description of the first. Are being asked to turn over video from last month, potentially linked to a suspicious car. Detectives going door to door today along a road near Nancy Guthrie's house, looking for secure along Via Entrada, about 1.3 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house. They want homeowners to look for video from the night of January 11th between 9 and midnight. That's almost 3 weeks before Nancy was taken.
They want to see if there were any dry runs, any site surveys done of Nancy's property before this strike.
Investigators erected a tent at Nancy's home for a brief time today. Experts believe it could be to replicate the dark conditions when the suspect came to the door that night.
This is clearly an indication they are trying to zero in on his exact height.
The FBI, 5'9" and 5'10" with an average build. This is a picture of the type of backpack he was wearing. It's a 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack. It's a backpack some say looks similar to new video out tonight, showing a man approaching the back of a home about 5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. The CBS News confirmed team has verified the location of the video, but has not verified the date or time the video was taken. Also at the center of the investigation, a pair of gloves found about a mile or so from Guthrie's home. They appear to be similar to the ones seen in the doorbell video. Investigators still testing them for DNA. In a touching tribute today, Savannah sharing a video and a family photo from when she was a child. The caption reading, "Our lovely mom, we will never give up on her. Thank you for your prayers and hope."
A lot more work needs to be done, but the community's assistance is going to be instrumental in bringing Ms. Guthrie home.
Outside the 84-year-old woman's home, community members placing dozens of yellow roses near the mailbox in show of support. Well, we still have not heard a follow-up on if any DNA was recovered and found on those black gloves that were found near Nancy's home. Investigators, though, are now racing against the clock for a different reason. A storm is expected in the area this week. They're in Tucson, and it could jeopardize any leftover evidence there near the scene. Pat?
All right, we certainly hope that doesn't happen. They get something before the rain comes in. Thanks so much, Hunter.
So they are racing against the clock because the storm's coming in. But you see, there's also someone, I think they said, did they not say 5 miles down the road? I mean, why do they not have any DNA? Think about this. Think about this. You could literally be at someone's home, right? Hey, Angel Wings, thank you for coming in and being a member, honey. You could literally be at someone's home and one of your hairs, I know me as a woman, my hair flies all over the place when I'm in the wind or what have you, right? That's DNA. Of course, you may not be able to find a hair, but why is, when things are so quiet from police, it concerns me, okay? I know they can't let everything out. I know that. I'm not stupid. But, why are they not saying anything. Okay, another thing. It said that the family called an hour later than she went missing, right? They got at the home, right? They got at the home and didn't call 911 until an hour later. Was the sheriff anywhere around that area? If he got evidence, or they, the sheriff's department got evidence before FBI came in, are they allowed to just take evidence like that? And, they had so many people, they could have messed up footprints. They could have messed up several things. Just seem awkward to me in this case. And I'm sure it does you too. It's just all over the place. And then you go from one station to the next, and you don't know what's going on. We need a timeline. Lisa says, I heard there was someone there at her home today cleaning the pool. That makes no sense. Why worry about the pool and even let someone around the scene like that? I agree. They should mark it off and say, nope, we're working here. You can come back to clean a pool later. I mean, who pays them to clean the pool? How are they going to get the money? I don't understand. It's just so awkward and weird to me. I've heard that the sheriff has not been at the house, in my opinion. Okay, let's play this from Brian Eaton Investigates. I didn't get to listen to this all the way. It's just a little short. Brian Eaton, and I might have to fix that. I think it's ENTON. But I've been following him, and I've been following JLR, because JLR is boots on the ground down there, doing a great job. I think Dolly's there too, but I haven't been watching him. I've just not had time really to watch anything. At least a Yes 2 pool parts pulled up. I watched it live. They had drone coverage. I don't understand the whole concept of letting so many people on the property, right? Who have all been taken off as crime scene from the minute Ellie arrived. In my opinion, Teresa, I agree. Just like with Sebastian's case. Okay, it was a runaway, but the construction site didn't shut down that day. It make it make sense, right? It does not make sense in our eyes. Okay. Right here is Brian Enton. Please go sub up to him. Yeah, maybe a yearly contract, Kelly says. That's true. Maybe, or maybe paid in advance, but still, I mean, did you guys see where someone ordered pizza for JLR? Did y'all see that? And the pizza guy, hey Mary, thank you for coming in. Love your person today, Pro. Thank you for coming in, Kelly. But think about it. Somebody, wonder pool people are there to help look for possible evidence in pool. Maybe YouTuber. That's a good question. But think about this, right? The other day, someone ordered a pizza for JLR, and that was before Ellie was sitting there protecting the area, right? So he walked right up to the daggum door, to deliver pizza, guys. Deliver pizza, and he was allowed. Alyssa ordered him pizza and told him in chat several times. Yeah, so he wasn't looking, bless their heart. But somebody ordered it, out of the goodness of their heart. But Ellie should have been there to stop him from going on up to the door, I mean, you can't tell me he wasn't thinking, okay, what is all this media, what is going on, even if he hadn't heard about the kidnapping, right? But this is the response that the sheriff has, the allegations of not feeling, from blocking FBI. So let's listen to Brian.
Guys, it's Friday morning. Just wanted to give you guys an update. I'm on the road in Tucson. There's Mo. So the sheriff is responding, the Pima County Sheriff is now responding to this reporting that he is not cooperating with the FBI with the Nancy Guthrie investigation. He hasn't responded to our request for comment, but he did speak to the local TV station KBOA. And he said that it's not true at all, that this reporting that I've been doing and that others have been doing, he says it's not true. Relationship with the FBI in terms of them sending the glove to their private lab in Florida and not to the FBI lab in Quantico. He says that they basically agreed on that and that they wanted all the evidence to go to the same place, the same lab. It didn't make sense to send some to Florida and some to Quantico. Again, that is different than what I am hearing. I have heard that the FBI is frustrated, that the sheriff's office is withholding key evidence, that they wanted to send the glove to Quantico, a glove that was discovered in the house, by the way, we're being told, which is interesting and new, and that there's been this disagreement between the sheriff's office and the FBI. And I reported yesterday, as recently as Wednesday night, I am told that the sheriff's office was withholding critical information from the FBI. And yeah, but the sheriff is denying all of that, not to us, but to the local TV station. Apparently there's a reporter who he talked to. They must have relationships with him because they work with him all the time. So anyway, I'll keep you guys posted with the latest. I'm going to grab an interview right now and try to get some scoop, and I'll talk to you guys later.
So the sheriff is denying to one of the news stations that anything has been blocked or hidden from FBI, but what he said was that FBI is, from what he can tell, is frustrated. You know, this power trip shouldn't be happening right now. And you all were talking about, you're fine, Rhonda. Y'all are talking about, the crime scene tape coming down early. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. And then also, if they cleaned that pool, they could have added chemicals to the pool. What if something was in that pool that they needed to get some water out of it? A sample to see if something had been floating in there. I mean, I don't understand. It's just crazy, and it will straight up drive you crazy, guys, if you sit and think about it. It doesn't make sense. If I was Savannah, I would be raising canes right now, and at my mama, I would literally be raising canes. But is it true that, the son-in-law hasn't been seen in, a week and a half or something? Right? But, yes, this is more confusing to me than flipping Sebastian's case, right? Okay, we got one more video to look at for Nancy Guthrie, and then I'm going to talk to you about Sebastian, okay? I want to get this all in. I want to get this all in my live today, even though my little one, my son's watching my little one right now, and he's like, I don't know what she wants. So I'm having to pause and do some things there. But let's get credit where credit is due right here. Hang on just a second, guys. Hang on.
So we're going to play what some of the mainstream media, while we wait for the rain to stop, and I'm going to head just shortly. Here's another one. Listen in.
So Fox News alert.
Okay, guys, this is JLR. Let's give him credit. He said anyone could use his material, his content. So we're going to watch him a second. It looks like it's raining.
Developments in the desperate search for Nancy Guthrie are coming to light as officials issue a description of a possible abductor. We're also learning for the first time about crucial evidence found inside of Nancy Guthrie's home. Let's take a look at all the major pieces of evidence and clues so far. So the newly discovered image and video from the doorbell camera, that's going to be critical for that criminal profile. We'll get to that later. Nancy's front door camera was disconnected. That helps us with the timeline. The blood found on the porch was Nancy Guthrie's. That's also the patterns there. We'll get to that later. Can tell us what condition Nancy left in. The pacemaker lost connection with the phone. This gives us again a time of everything's happening. The alleged ransomware sent to news outlets haven't been confirmed if this is the abductor yet. They also found, this is new yesterday, a glove found in Nancy's home. Now, this glove right here, we don't know if it's that exact glove, but we know there was a glove. And then finally, the FBI releases a description of the male, 5'9" to 5'10", average build. Again, the profile of the abductor and the suspect's brand of the backpack identified. We know that this backpack is only at Walmart or from this company online on their website, all critical for this investigation. Let's bring in Dr. Priya Banerjee, forensic pathologist. She's going to help us understand what the blood spatter on Nancy's front porch tells us about the state she was in. Dr. Banerjee, can you give us some information about the pattern of that blood spatter and the impact on this investigation?
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having me. This close-up is fantastic at showing that the drops are landing as circles, and there's different where drops or drips. So that is a pattern you see in blood spatter that shows that it's falling directly vertical down, perpendicular down from a height. It's hard to say exactly where on the it's coming from, whether it's the head or the hands, but it is dripping from a height. And so it's important to see that they're separate droplets. There's not a huge pool of blood, but there's definitely some sort of fresh injury that she's dripping from. And I can say she because it's been confirmed by DNA that it is Nancy's.
I want you to weigh in on this because Dr. Michael Biden has a similar theory to you, and I want to make sure you're on the same page here. This is what he said. Nancy Guthrie is bleeding from some area, either the hand or the face. The nature of the blood spots with little pale centers or donut shapes are typical for drops that come from the nose or the mouth because they're mixed with air. That means she's coughing up blood or dripping from the nose. Otherwise, there would be a dripping from a cut from above, possibly the hand or the face. Do you agree with that analysis?
I think if it's breathed out, it's finer, but if it...
Hold on. Do something different. Because I know it's mirroring. We're mirroring.
The drip, it's quite possible to show the pattern that's there. Some of them have a little bit more clearing, like Target, and others are more solid. So I don't know if it's completely respiratory, but it could be anywhere: the nose, the face, the head, the hands. And she's older, so I don't know what medication she's on, but we have to remember that, she might be in a have a medical condition or on medication that prevents her from clotting, so she could bleed quite a bit from just a little cut.
So, right there, guys, my mom is actually on, anybody that's had heart issues is on those kinds of medicines. I see where they're saying, Angel Wing says, now they say no glove is found in the house. I'm telling you, we don't know what to think. This is a crap show, right? No one can keep anything right. YouTuber says on news channel. But, if you have anyone in your life or if you're on heart meds, blood thinners, such, I've got friends that are on that, you can have major nosebleeds. So if they're thinking respiratory, her blood pressure could have been up. She could have been really nervous. That causes nosebleeds, She's on blood thinners because of the pacemaker. Yeah. So, I just don't understand all the different, with cases, why they can't keep something straight. doesn't make sense to me. I couldn't imagine waking up to that person's being in my home and what she has went through. Yeah, Kathy, that's horrible. And I would suggest, honestly, all you elderly or anybody listening to this, it's a cruel, weird world now, guys. If you can afford to get Ring cameras that are hardwired in your home, I would do that. And I'm not paid by Ring, whatever, Nest, whatever. Get it hardwired. Pay for the $2.99 a month for, subscription or whatever if you can afford it. I mean, even if you can't, evidently hers wasn't recording, but they found the information, right? I have cameras all around my house just because it's a weird world now, right? Can't remember which news, but it's been reported all day. But we know news gets things wrong. Yeah, that's right, Angel. We all get things wrong. Even YouTubers get things wrong. News does when, we got to hear it from the source themselves, right? Okay, I want to cover Sebastian also today. Sebastian Wayndrick Rogers went missing from Hendersonville February 25th, 26th. It was called in. Some think that he was, the last place seen was Texas Roadhouse. And some think he made it home. Some think he may not have. I still, and I'm not blaming no one, but I still have my eyes focused not only on Green Hoodie at Texas Roadhouse, but I wish people would also pay attention to what's going on over there with a gentleman that looks like he has two phones. Okay, and I've showed it before. And if you all want me to cover that again, I will, and just be on that. Teresa says we have Ring cameras around the outside of the house. Yeah, I mean, I have one in our church. I have them everywhere. Just because it's a weird world, we don't know what we face. But if you can afford them, invest in that, guys. Safety, that's part. If you can do without, the high package of cable or satellite right now, because it's outrageous. If you can do without a couple channels and afford to get you cameras, I would do it in today's society. But anyways, I want to focus on, and I'm going to go over this probably another time because there's nothing new in Sebastian's case, but I did listen to Crime Time Buzz last night, and I'm going to collaborate with her and the gentleman that she had on panel. I don't know him. I think his name's Charles Ramsey, and he's planning on coming down to Tennessee. So I want to collaborate with her, bring her up on my panel. And I have a lot of questions about certain people at that Texas Roadhouse that night, guys. A lot of questions. Jenny Machete says, "Yay!" That's a funny name, Jenny. That's hilarious. Oh my word. He was so scared of Bullhorn Betty. Bless her. Those little ones are feisty, but a man being scared of a lady. But I'm going to share this with you guys. With all the mainstream media going crazy over all these other cases, y'all may have not seen what Crime Time Buzz was doing. We're pausing this. We're going to rewind it. But she was going over some of the Texas Roadhouse footage with him. And I guess he's not followed the case a lot. And excuse me if I'm wrong on that. Haha, see my picture. The machete is about to hack the weeds. That scares CP. He's scared. Wonder what he'd do over a weed eater. If he's scared of that, right? It's hilarious. Okay, she was going over the Texas Roadhouse footage with him. And he was even looking at it thinking, okay, this crap don't make sense, And he doesn't want to speak a lot about it because he has some ideas He has some ideas. I'm going to play something on my phone before I play Crime Time Buzz. Okay. And this was, well, let me go ahead and play Crime Time Buzz. And then I'm going to play something from my phone because I'm not going to play it on the screen because evidently a lot of people's getting struck and I don't want to do that. But listen, they, Charles, I think, has some big plans on Sebastian. Okay. And I think it's February 26th. He's doing some sort of fundraiser to make it down to Tennessee. And I don't know the gentleman, but if he's willing to go down and search and, you know, he said he'd like to go to Texas Roadhouse. He was wondering why LE hadn't been to Texas Roadhouse at the beginning before at night came out with this and got the footage. Nothing makes sense, right? Anything makes sense. And I've asked CP and Straight Talker was actually in my chat last time. I don't know, but they do kind of go against Seth or what have you, you know, like, you know, wanting to tell me things about Seth or what have you in my chats or on the comments. And I've asked them to come on my panel, to email me, tell me, and bring me receipts. I want some receipts. I won't believe it until I see it with my own eyes, right? We can't. We can't take anything as fact unless we see a receipt for everything. But listen, Jay's talking to Charles Ramsey about Green Hoodie right here.
And he will let us know when he has that planned. That's why you just heard him say when he goes there. So he is, welcome in everyone. Thank you for being such a kind audience. He is going to go boots on the ground, try and make some connections and get some intel, right? Okay, Charles. So here's where I wanted to start on the case. I wanted to start talking about the last time we have proof of life of Sebastian. So we're going to watch a little bit. There's a person who comes walking. I'm showing you someone. This is the Texas Roadhouse. I'm going to show you someone who comes walking and stands near Sebastian's car right next to it before he comes out and the last time he's ever seen. Okay. That's been a big controversial issue in the case. Law enforcement said they have interviewed Green Hoodie, which is, they got the name of Green Hoodie because they're wearing a green hoodie. But there's many of us who just don't think the right Green Hoodie was cleared.
Miss J, Hoodie's name?
It was not released.
Precisely.
Yes, it was not released. It came out in a quick, as soon as At Night released it with permission from law enforcement on social media, they came out very quickly and said, wait, because they told them they could do that. They said, we've located him, interviewed and cleared him.
So see right there, he's new to the case and he's like, okay, what's Green Hoodie's name? I mean, it's very strange that everything's being hidden. If they're cleared, why is LE not coming out and saying, okay, we interviewed such and such, this is who Green Hoodie was, and they're cleared, right? So just think about this, guys. Yes, please go sub up to Crime Time Buzz. Please watch this last video with Charles Ramsey, and then go sub up to him also. Because, you know, if we have new eyes on the case, then that's great.
And they even put it out in a press release.
You located someone in the hood and you can't find Sebastian? Oh, go ahead, babe. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's what we're here for. Talk anytime you want. It's a middle class, upper class neighborhood. We're at the Texas Roadhouse right now. And this is the last time Sebastian Rogers was seen. in public. Allegedly, he was seen on video, but it's hard to tell if it was him taking out the trash when he got home. So we're going to start with this. It's this last time Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was seen almost 2 years ago. Let me go to the screen. What you're going to see is green hoodies right here. Okay, came out from back here. Comes forward. See how green hoodie is right in front of this handicap? Green hoodie does not veers around and disappears in between the two cars and remains there until action and came out. Look at the body frame. Come on, here we go. This is the actual footage that At Night and Dog got from the Texas Roadhouse. And it's the last time Sebastian. Okay, people coming out over here. Sebastian's car's still right here. It's next. This is an open area still for anyone to walk through who would want to get through. Here comes green hoodie. Look at the frame. Look at the body. Very baggy clothes. You are correct. Here's KP's car. Here is the handicap that green hoodie could go right through, but chooses to go around and stand on the other side of the car. There's green hoodie too. Right here is green hoodie. He moves over to the car. She moves. Oops.
You know, you do ministry.
So guys, go watch that. It was interesting. Daisy says Lolly's live yesterday was very interesting. I'll have to go watch it. Daisy, I wasn't on much at all. But Charles actually says in this, and go watch it fully on Crime Time Buzz. He actually says that the way that Green Hoodie was walking looks military to him, in his opinion, because of the way they walked. Because that's a good point. You know, once you get trained to walk a certain way, then you're going to walk that way. Usually, you're not going to lose those. You know, you're not going to lose those characteristics, in my opinion. Right? No, don't look at them. Nothing to see here. Yeah. They cleared them very quickly, and why they didn't let the names out. Right? I'm going to play something on my phone, guys, and I'm going to debunk something because, and I want to see if, you know, maybe Charles, I don't know if I can or not, but maybe Charles and Crime Time Buzz Jay could come up on panel with me. Maybe have a big panel one evening or one night and talk about all these things. Okay. But right here, this was on Queen Bee's, and it was, I'm not playing it on the screen, but it was the other night when Terry Lynn was up with Chris Proudfoot. And it was when they were talking about Terry Lynn interviewing Seth, right? And she literally says, you know, Seth had allegedly told her that he didn't have any kind of social media, didn't have a YouTube, but then she found out he did. Well, this interview with Seth was in March, guys. I looked it up, and I'll show you on screen. Seth had a YouTube in June. Okay? Yeah, Jenny, it would be awesome. I wish I could get those two on panel. I did go on Crime Time Buzz on Jay's panel one time. But to have those two and to collaborate with everything that I've actually written down and stuff would be awesome. But here you go. Listen to this, guys. Hang on just a second. Let me turn it up. Hang on, guys. Here we go, guys.
Not while I was serving.
They want to know what the actual threat was. I don't know if you want to tell them the threat or not.
Well, Apple Crescent's got it right there.
This is when she was interviewing Seth. Good. Let me fast forward it to the part where she speaks that Seth had a
Share your YouTube channel.
right here.
I don't know who does it. I did, Tiffany.
Hang on, let me find it right here, guys. Now listen, can you hear it? Push 1. If you can't, let me know.
Your YouTube channel. I don't know who does it. I did, Tiffany.
Oh, you won't find anything on my YouTube channel except for some weird comment shorts every once in a while.
So he didn't have a YouTube channel. I heard on one of the interviews where they were. Yeah, remember he said he didn't have a YouTube channel. He didn't have social media. He didn't have a Facebook either.
Correct. I had to go back and listen. I've studied this over and over, and I've pissed myself. I beat myself up because I thought, wait, you told me on the phone you didn't have any social media.
Sorry, guys, it did cut out. Here we go.
Stupid, and I am.
Let's see. Yes. Let's see, Seth. It's your phone. No.
Fuller Adventures. Not while I was serving.
So she states in there that, she says stupid is what she says, that Seth did have a YouTube, and this interview was in March that she done with him. So let's go over here and let's pull this up, right? Let's pull this up for you guys. I want you to see it. Hang on just a second. Right here. You go to Seth's YouTube. What does that say, guys? Joined June 7th, 2024. This interview was in March of 2024. So he did not have a YouTube, guys, until June, right? So right there, I'm taking up for Seth and saying he didn't have a YouTube till June. So anyways, there you go, guys. Next one that I do, the next live, I'm going to try to go live tomorrow, will be on Sebastian. Okay. Maybe a little bit of summer in the mix. So guys, have a great weekend. We got a birthday party tonight for my son, finally getting to have it because of the bad weather. I got to go get ready. We're playing golf. Playing golf. That's what he chose to do tonight. So we're going to go play some golf. Hey, DJ, thanks for coming in. Thank you, guys. Love you, and I'll see you tomorrow, possibly. Thanks for all the mods, and we got some things in store, some people to bring up on panel soon. I appreciate you all being here. Love you. Have a great weekend.